a temporary endeavor to create a unique product, service, or result. Okay, it's a temporary endeavor. The endeavor here means an attempt. Okay, it's an English word which means attempt. So the attempt can be success or failure. So going by that, it's not necessary that all your projects are successful. You might start on a project, something might get called off midway. So going by that, so let's look at each of these options. Out of the following, which one is not a reason for the end of the project is considered to be reached? Number one option, project's objectives have been achieved. Yeah, project success. That means project success. Project's objectives cannot be met, which means the project was started, the endeavor was not successful. Again, it's an endeavor. So number two. Number three is need for the project no longer exists. So again, if you look at the PMBOK, these are the three points that are given for in section 1.2 stating when the end of a project is considered to be reached. So going by the technique of elimination, it should be the option 4, which is project's end is unknown. Okay, so this is more of a elimination technique, because the first two, which first one is project's objectives have been achieved, which is success, the endeavor is successful. Project's objectives cannot be met, which means the endeavor was not successful, but still it's a project. Need for the project no longer exists. This is also a type of failure of endeavor, in the form of the vision has changed, the strategy has changed, but then they started on a project. So going by that technique of elimination, because section 1.2 covers these things as the reason for the end of project is considered to be reached, then fourth is the correct option, which says project's end is unknown. Next one, projects can have social, economic, and environmental impacts that far outlaws the projects themselves. So economic is different from economical. Again, this play with words. So you projects can have social, economic. It's not economical, it's economic. Socio-economic, it's called socio-economic and environmental impacts that far outlaws the projects themselves. Yeah, project is a temporary endeavor which is aimed to put something in place. That something can be a product, service, or result. Okay, so the project, when it puts something in place, it doesn't have an idea of what sort of an impact it can cause. But then when the end result or the product or the service is in place, it can be there for generations. Think of a bridge. When somebody built it, he would not have guessed how long it would stay there. So the time that they probably spent building it was probably a few years or something like that, which is again temporary. It has a definite beginning and ending, but then the impact that it can cause is, it can far outlast the time that it was the project was put in place, or the time that was spent to put the project in place. So temporary here means definite begin and end. It doesn't mean long or short. Okay, so that's where the projects can have social, economic, and environmental impacts that far outlaws the projects themselves. Next one, presence of repetitive elements does not change the fundamental uniqueness of the project work. This has been discussed in probably our part 2 and also in part 1. There can be repetitive elements in the development of a project. Understand that operations are ongoing and repetitive, but when we say repetitive elements, we can mean presence of the same team members, use of same components in a project, but then it doesn't alter the uniqueness of the project as such. So here the presence of repetitive elements in a project does not alter the uniqueness of a project. Okay, but operations are ongoing and repetitive. The process as such is ongoing and repetitive in case of operations. Projects put a operation in place. So these are the relationships between these terminologies. An ongoing work effort is generally a repetitive process in an organization. When you say an ongoing effort, it's more